What's the one thing that will determine whether or not you reverse your autoimmune disease naturally?
Let's start today!
The answer, guys, it's plain and simple. It's happiness. Now, I could fully recognize and appreciate that some of you may be wheelchair bound or emotionally not in a place where you want to hear, hey man, I know you have it tough right now, just cheer up and everything's going to be okay. That's an oversimplified answer to problems that you may be faced with. And I could certainly relate to that. I've been in that position myself. The point of this video isn't to say, hey man, cheer up and everything's gonna be okay, and at the end of this video everything's gonna be peachy. No, not at all. Really what I'm looking to do, like all my other videos, is to simply try to give you tools that you can implement right now so that way you can work towards the end goal of reversing your disease naturally. Guys, on this channel, I want to give you every tool that I possibly have at my disposal to share with you to help you along with your journey. And happiness is a huge part of the journey. It's so huge that it encompasses 50%. Half. Of the overall picture of what we could use to help us reverse our autoimmune disease naturally. That's how big it is. So this topic right here, I don't take lightly, and I don't expect you guys to just do a quick turnaround right away. Everything is a process, and in this video I'm going to share with you some tools that you can use to help you along with that process. The man that helped me reverse my multiple sclerosis, Gary Null, would always say that you can't get healthy if you're not happy. So what's the big deal about being happy? The big deal about being happy is its effect on our immune system. Anything that we can do to strengthen our immune system is a big deal. It's huge when you recognize how much your emotions plays into that. If you've ever been stressed out, and of course all of us have, and you felt sick afterward, or it's gotten you ill,
I'm gonna be sick.
those stress hormones weaken your immune system. And we don't want a weak immune system. We want a strong immune system. Happiness can make our immune system stronger, so we want to cultivate more happiness. And there's things that we can do to cultivate more happiness. Now, what's rewiring the brain? Rewiring the brain is a process in which we exchange habits that give us a negative result for habits that give us a positive result when it comes to how we view things around us and how we look at things. It's like walking down the street and seeing 25 beautiful things versus walking down the street and noticing 25 ugly things. It gives us a different appreciation of our surroundings, and that's really beneficial because anything that we could do and use to help keep us happy, that's just going to build our immune system. So what we're doing in effect is we're reconditioning ourselves. There's a man by the name of Bruce Lipton. He has a book out called The Biology of Belief. And he dives much deeper into this topic about reconditioning ourselves, rewiring our brain, and resetting our what he refers to as epigenetics, and understanding that. I'm going to leave a link in the description below to one of his seminars. I would really like it a lot and appreciate it if you guys check out one of his seminars. It's really eye-opening, and he's a great guy to listen to. He has a bunch of other videos too that are great that I'd highly recommend, of course. So really, that's what rewiring the brain is all about. It's about changing our overall perspective. Two things that keep us from our happiness are obstacles and expectations. But first, let's start with obstacles. How do we handle obstacles? How do we leverage our obstacles into advantages? How do we look at our obstacles in a new way so that way we can work around them? Now, I can completely relate with a lot of you guys who may be feeling disabled on some level. Okay, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. I had terrible vertigo, slurred speech, numbness. I had trouble walking. When I went to Gary Null's first health support group in New York City, I needed assistance walking up the steps because my legs didn't want to work right for me. So I fully understand and appreciate the obstacles some of you may be faced with, okay, and how debilitating that can be physically and emotionally. So those obstacles are real. But you know, we're trying to rewire our brain, we're trying to give ourselves a new way of looking at our problems and what we can do. The first step, in my opinion, is to recognize what's in your power. There's things that are outside of your power you can't do anything about. They are what they are. My suggestion is to leave them be. What I'd like to do is focus on things that you can do.
When you dedicate yourself to something and open your mind to different possibilities and focus on what you can do instead of what you can't do, you really can go places in this world.
If you're wheelchair bound and you want to exercise, there's things out there called chair aerobics. You could look that up and you can implement that into your daily routine. Let's say if depression is something that you're handling, okay? One thing that can help you towards getting over that depression is coming out in nature, taking your shoes off, taking your sandals off, putting your feet in the sand, putting your feet on the grass, grounding yourself, sitting with yourself. I'll give you an example. And this is personally how I like to meditate. This is how I learned to do it. And I find it to be incredibly powerful. So here's a tool for you for meditating. When you sit there, a lot of people say, you know what? You have to turn the mind off. You have to turn off the thinking brain. In my opinion, that's impossible. That's never going to happen. But what you can do in place of that is you could simply be mindful of your surroundings, be mindful of where you're sitting. You could feel the clothing on your skin. You could sense everything around you. You could feel your weight into the ground. You can see everything around your surroundings. You notice all of those things. And when you begin to solely focus on how you feel and your surroundings, over time, your mind magically shuts off, just like they tell you to try and do. But it does it organically, and it does it by itself. It does it without you trying, which is, in my opinion, the best approach for any sort of meditating. And what's great about this is that you could take this anywhere throughout the day, anywhere. It doesn't matter. You could use this all over the place. So that's how I like to handle obstacles. The next thing are expectations. And to me, there's two types of expectations to be cognizant of when we attach an expectation to an outcome and people. The first thing I want to discuss is our expectation when we attach a certain desire to an outcome. We want something to happen a certain kind of way. A lot of times, if it doesn't go the way we plan, well, our happiness is compromised. And a lot of times when a lot of us try new things, we try it one time and it doesn't work, and we say, oh, this isn't right for me. I tried it, it's not gonna fly. Well, what if that one time that you tried it, what if there's a lesson in there that you were supposed to learn so that way you could try it again and bring that lesson with you and hopefully get it right the second time? People that I see that are successful in anything, it doesn't matter if you're trying to reverse something or personal life, business, whatever it is, You have to have a certain amount of tenacity. If it happens the way I want to, great. If it happens on the first try, hey, icing on the cake. But if it doesn't, then that really is cause for me to look at my result deeper and try to learn the lesson of that, so that way I could try it again and apply that lesson to the next set of experiments. And that could be with everything. So when it comes to happiness, you could try something, and if it doesn't work, learn the lesson from what that is and carry that over. Learning what you need from it, applying it into the future. Now, what about expectations for ourselves or towards others? That's a huge one. I mean, how many times do a lot of us go into relationships expecting another person to fulfill us or to complete us? The actor Will Smith, I'm going to paraphrase a quote that he said. Basically, the point is, he goes into his relationship happy, his wife goes into the relationship happy, and they're happy separately, and they share each other's happiness with each other. And so they're not looking for someone else to complete them or make them happy. They have their own happiness. And that's important, because when you could be independently happy outside of what anyone else does, then you have real power in your hands, real power towards your health. And it really doesn't matter if it's personal, professional, parental, romantic. It doesn't matter what kind of relationship it is. The only expectation that I feel we should have is what we expect for us. So when we go into relationships with people, if someone isn't treating us the way we feel we want to be treated, then it's up to us to say something and say, you know what, this doesn't work for me. I'd really like you to change this, because no one knows how we want to be treated. We have to tell them. No one's a mind reader. You have to say, hey, this is what works for me, this is what doesn't. And they're either in line with that or they're not. It's okay to take breaks or walk away. It doesn't matter if it's family or whoever. Okay, it doesn't mean you love them any less. It just means that you have to honor yourself in that moment, and sometimes you have to take a step back. You know, it's really not fair, in my opinion, to put the responsibility of my happiness to somebody else. That's giving someone else your power. No, you have to take that power back, create your own happiness, so that way when you can appreciate the person that you're with, you're sharing that happiness with them. So when you don't have an expectation about the people around you, you could have appreciation of the people that you have around you. And to me, that's a huge deal. That's a big deal. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching today's video. I really hope you found the perspectives in this video to be useful to you. And please don't forget to hit that like button. It goes a long way in helping out the channel. Please hit that subscribe button too. Don't forget to hit that little bell icon for future notifications if you like, and you share this video. A couple of plugs that I'd like to put out there is I have a Patreon page, and that Patreon page basically is, if you believe in the mission and believe in the information what I'm trying to do with this channel, you can go to that Patreon page and leave a donation. If any of you leave a donation, that's fantastic. I appreciate it in advance. Also, I have a book on Amazon Kindle called Get Over Yourself: How I Reverse My Multiple Sclerosis by Kenneth Ciesla. And with that said, I'm Ken Ciesla, the Healthy Plumber, 11 years MS-free. Self-empowerment is the key. I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care. Bye.